With that one as the tries go in here. We've got all the mascots pitch side waiting to cheer on the two teams here at Halliwell Jones. You can see them in the tunnel. It's live Super League action here on TalkSport 2 as the Warrington Wolves, looking for a first win in 7, take on the league leaders Kettlehanders. Will tonight be the night for the Wolves? Choice of listening, don't forget, over on TalkSport right now, kick off to the EFL season. Sheffield Wednesday against Southampton. The only place you'll hear it on national radio is over on TalkSport. If you've got the app, you can swipe left and right between the two. Mark Wilson with Paul Cook here at Halliwell Jones. It's dry, thankfully. I've been across the country today. It seems to be raining everywhere, but thankfully no rain here. Pretty chilly, but overall, pitch looks immaculate. It'll be slippy underfoot, but conditions not too bad.
No, absolutely not.
How important is the start, Mick?
Very important. I mean, for both teams, one's come up, one's come down. They both want to start the season well. I mean, Southampton even more because they'll want to get points on the table. But Sheffield Wednesday, it's their home game. Good start for them will set them up for the season.
Gavin Bazunu takes the ball to the perimeter of his penalty area in a multicoloured goalkeeping jersey before it's shoved down into midfield. Collected by Smallbone, who plays it out towards the right, and Carl Walker-Peters, who's dyed his hair blue ahead of the start of the season, which is odd for a Southampton player. He takes it infield. He's about 15 yards inside opposition territory, wide on the right-hand side, looking to just nudge it out to Nathan Teller, who's had such a brilliant time in the Championship recently. And then Will Waltz feels he was fouled inside his own half and clears the ball up over the halfway line. Southampton, who will use the ball, and will make sure that they play with a progressive possession-based style. One of the problems Swansea had, Scott Minto, last season was opening up defensive teams. And Sheffield Wednesday were very good defensively last season.
No, that's absolutely right. And as Mick was just pointing out to me there, it's a back four for Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah. So it's very interesting how they're kind of setting up now, not necessarily what we would think. And Southampton will have possession. And even though Sheffield Wednesday are playing at home, they'll be quite happy and comfortable just to sit back and let them have the balls, make sure they can't break them down, cannot afford to go down 1-0 at home. And they were so good last season in League One, weren't they, here? So, you know, as we always say, almost in every game, the first goal is very, very important. It really sets the tone psychologically.
Akim Famuwo is playing as the left-sided defender on this near side, although it's very right balanced, doesn't it? Edged over towards that far side. And Delgado playing as a right winger, has played as a right winger for Pacos de Ferreira in Portuguese football, and as a right back and a left back as well. Ball played forward by Carl Walker-Peters. Interception is by Dominic Iorfa on the edge of his own penalty area. Sheffield Wednesday get it back to their goalkeeper, and it's launched high into the evening sky. The pitch looks in good condition. It's been bright sunshine in Sheffield today. Bednarak's got a bit of a problem. He's gone down under pressure inside the just on the right of the centre circle. And it's going to be a free kick to Southampton, I think, just over the halfway line. Bednarak now slowly getting back to his feet and having a word with Bobby Madley. Maybe it'll be an uncontested drop ball. Doesn't seem to be too much in that.
No, I think he just literally went up for the header and fell down awkwardly on his back, and that's why it was painful. It wasn't as if it was an elbow or anything.
0-0 the score. You're listening to TalkSport live at Hillsborough on this Friday night, the first Friday night of the brand new season. Ball picked up by Bednarak, who has been given it from the uncontested drop ball in from Carl Walker-Peters is a loose pass by Jack Stevens, who was on loan at Bournemouth last season, into the path of Josh Windass, who got that all-important goal for Sheffield Wednesday. He scampers down the left touchline, deep into opposition territory, then checks back and gives it to Akinfenwa, and then it's played all the way back towards Dominic Ielfa, and then edged to Cameron Dawson inside his own half. A little bit dicey because Southampton put on the high press, and as a result of that, a loose ball is given away, but Bannon has won it back, and he's taken it beyond Smallbone, moved into the Southampton half of the field and sends it out wide towards the right. The cross comes in from Patterson, in towards Gregory, did connect with it. Windass has got it now, edge of the area is Bannon, deflection comes back to Windass again, he breaks loose on the edge of the area, another shot scrambled away, Gregory turns, fires it, blocked by Stevens, and over the top by Patterson, and it swirls out towards the near side and goes out for a corner kick down away to our left-hand side. A thrilling piece of play, all action and all the pressure coming from Sheffield Wednesday in a matter of seconds, Mick McCarthy.
Yeah, well, it's amazing because Sheffield Wednesday had a real bad passage of play over the ball there and gave it away to Southampton, who then regained it and gave it back to Sheffield Wednesday, and of course it's Barry Bannon that set the chance up. And what I really liked is when they got wide, they've got two strikers in the box and they put a cross in, and it was a real, well, they've had 3 or 4 chances from that, and none of them could just get a real good contact on it. But interesting, Sheffield Wednesday are sitting back 4-4-1-1, going to sit them on, they're playing narrow, making them trying to play wide. And of course, what I will be interested in, get the ball to Nathan Teller up against the fullback will be very interesting. Akinfenwa.
Well, Southampton looked a little bit shaky in their pre-season friendlies playing out from the back, Scott, but they looked a little bit shaky there trying to defend that all-out attack from Sheffield Wednesday. Here is Adam Armstrong down the right for Southampton, trying to squeeze the ball into the box. It's stopped and cleared away by Heckway, and up over the halfway line it goes, and eventually all the way to Bazunu in the Southampton goal.
Yeah, look, you know what you're going to get with the Russell Martin side. He's going to be wanting to be passing out, but if you're going to give the ball away, and I'm fascinated to see how Barry Bannon's going to do this season in the Championship. He's absolutely brilliant in League One last season for Wednesday. In fact, it's been brilliant from the last 5 seasons. He's topped the charts in almost everything. But if you give him that type of chance, he can counter-attack very quickly. And as Mick said, got the ball wide, got 2 people in there, and 4 or 5 chances. In the end, Southampton actually defended pretty decently.
It's 4-4-1-1 from Sheffield Wednesday, isn't it? With Bannon playing as the sort of almost number 10 behind the lead striker, which is Lee Gregory. Here on the right side, the ball is with Nathan Teller for Southampton. We've played just over 6 minutes. You listen to TalkSport. It is 0-0. The ball played wide now and sent out from Manning towards the edge of the penalty area. A little skip by Edozie, trying to get the cross in from the byline. The challenge comes in from Delgado, and it's squeezed behind and away for the first corner of the game, and it goes Southampton's way. And he did some damage in the Premier League from set pieces, did James Ward-Prowse. You imagine he'll be in a bit of a danger in the Championship too, Mick.
Always. He's devastating his deliveries.
Ball in towards that near post. It's attacked by the Sheffield Wednesday defence. It missed everybody in red. Back in by Teller, loops into the air, drops inside the penalty area, then comes back out towards this right-hand side. Centred towards the far side, and then eventually it's cleared away. And then picked up now down the left-hand side by Ward-Prowse, trying to get the ball into the box, and then eventually the ball breaks towards the far side, and Southampton have got it back again. Edozie sends it long and into the path of James Ward-Prowse. Across comes Patterson and puts it out of play.
Sam, that's always going to be the problem. They've no outball, Sheffield Wednesday, when they're all back there. They've got to either run it out, they've got nobody up front that can give it to and make it stick, and it means Southampton can press them high up the pitch.
Here on the right side is Carl Walker-Peters. He's got support from Teller, edge of the area, right side, left-footed shot towards the far corner, and it's a brilliant goal for Southampton. And Nathan Teller, who was a star in the Championship for Burnley last season, has got off to a blinding start for Southampton. Getting the ball on the edge of the area, there was far too much space. He curled it left-footed, out of the reach of the goalkeeper, and put Southampton into a stunning lead.
Well, he's just carried on his brilliant Championship form, hasn't he? I mean, I haven't seen much of him in the first 5 or so minutes, but this is what he's capable of. He takes the ball and he goes onto his left foot. He's outside the box, but he still is able to just really get a good strike in. One touch, bang! Keeper has no chance, and he's passed a couple of players as well. And by the time he's seen it, Cameron Dawson. He's not able to get anywhere near it. Left strike in the side netting, a wonder strike it really is. I have to say, it's come out from nowhere, really.
Well, he picked that up, didn't he, on the right angle of the penalty area. There was too much room for him to shift it onto his left. He just had the opportunity to arc it, and he did. Outside the post and then back into the corner, and there was no way the goalkeeper was getting hold of that, Mick.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I name-checked him about 5 minutes ago, but I wasn't expecting him to do that. I thought he might have got up and give the left-back Akinfenwa a bit of a trouble getting at it, but it was fabulous. I think the fact that somebody ran, they got an overlap as well, and the two Sheffield Wednesday players couldn't get close enough to him. Fabulous finish, though. Whatever else happened, it was a wonderful goal.
It was a really good goal from Nathan Tella, who had 22 championship goal involvements last season at Burnley. Such a brilliant spell on loan there last campaign, and he's got off and running in this championship campaign with the first goal of the season after just 8 minutes. This is TalkSport live at Hillsborough on the first Friday night of the season, and Southampton already lead by 1-0, relegated from the Premier League last season. Here is Carl Walker-Peters down the right, played in by Teller, into the box, tries to get to the byline, steps back on his left foot, produced across to the far post. Alcaraz was coming in underneath it, punched away eventually by Dawson and out towards the far side. It's out for a throw-in on the halfway line. It's been a helter-skelter start to the championship season. 2 months since the end of the last campaign. Sheffield Wednesday's aims will be staying in the championship, and they didn't have much time to prepare for promotion. Saints knew a long way out that they would be facing the drop, and they knew that in Nathan Tella they had someone who had great experiences in the championship, and he started as he means to go on. Here is Jack Stevens, a little bit loose, but he gets away with it, comes towards the edge of the box, and the shot's fired in towards Ward-Prowse, and eventually it comes back to him, and he fires a shot goal. Was it saved by Cameron Dawson? It was Ryan Manning on the edge of the penalty who had the initial effort, then deflected into the path of Ward-Prowse, and it was saved by Dawson. Well,
Sam, if Sheffield Wednesday don't start pressing higher up the pitch and getting close to them, it could be a high score, this, because they just can't get out of their half, and it's really how Southampton are just going to play all the time, and Sheffield Wednesday can't get out of it. They're losing it now. I mean, that was the left back that was in their box shooting just then. Ryan Manning, they'll get murdered if they carry on like this.
The high press actually was the moment that Sheffield Wednesday had the best joy from, because there was a little bit of looseness inside their own half. It spilt nicely for Barry Bannon, and he could get them on the attack. But since then, it's been one-way traffic, Scott.
You need to be able to retain possession and be able to play one or two touch football at times to try and beat the press. If you haven't got the confidence to do that, then certainly this Southampton side will be all over them. That's what's happening with Sheffield Wednesday at the moment.
Carl Walker-Peters, who not so long ago was in the England squad, plays it down the right-hand side into James Ward-Prowse. A little flick and a trick from Nathan Tella. He ends up on the floor. It was Akinfenwa who nudged him to the ground. There's an accusation of an elbow there. Both linesman and referee were there to see it on hand, and they've just ignored it and allowed play to continue. He's off the field anyway, is Nathan Tella, the goal scorer. The ball's run loose inside the centre circle, and Will Smallbone has got it once again for Southampton. We played just a little over 12 minutes. You're listening to TalkSport live at Hillsborough on Friday night. James Ward-Prowse is not going to kick it out of play. He's having attention now from the physios on this near touch line, and Southampton encouraged to play on. He's trying to slow the game down because he knows that they're a man light at this moment in time, but Southampton do have possession. Wednesday haven't had the best of pre-seasons. They failed to win any of their last 5 warm-up games, and this is where the business starts, and they're already 1-0 down. Walker-Peters sending it to the right. Teller, who's just come back onto the pitch, into Armstrong. A little Cruyff turn, comes back to Teller, edge of the area. He challenges, the ball spills into the air. Patterson brings it clear, tries to get it upfield. And again, that high press turns the ball over quickly, and Southampton are back on the charge. Midway inside Sheffield Wednesday territory. Dead centre is Carl Walker-Peters. A little wall pass into Armstrong, and then a floated ball towards the far post looking for a Dozy. Headed away by Iorfa, and then Bannon brings it down, smacks it to halfway, but there's still no outball.
It needs to be able to get on the ball, Barry Bannon, and then have the ability to look up and play in Lee Gregory. Lee Gregory's sort of dropping off because he's trying to help his team out, but he's just got to try and stay up there. As Mick was absolutely spot on in terms of there's no outball at the moment. You need to be able to get on the ball, play that little pass, and then look for Lee Gregory to play him in. And at the moment, Sheffield Wednesday aren't doing that. And because Southampton have scored that first goal now, they can completely impose the tempo of the game, which is just what they want to do.
Well, Southampton have been juggling a rebuild throughout the course of the season. the pre-season, but it hasn't looked like that so far. Here is Ward-Prowse down the right-hand side, hooks the ball first time into the penalty area from the right wing position, headed away by Olfer again, taken down by Smallbone. He's about 3 yards outside the area, right side. Southampton playing with tempo, speed, and a bit of a swagger in the early stages here in the Championship. It's 1-0 to the visitors. Russell Martin, dressed in black, is down in front of us in the technical area, just gesticulating, moving his pieces around on the chessboard, trying to encourage his team to keep playing their football. Alcaraz, Manning, then back in field to Jack Stevens, and Southampton continuing to hold Sheffield Wednesday at arm's length in the early exchanges. It's quite demoralising for Sheffield Wednesday when you're watching the ball almost like you're on a carousel, watching everybody else having fun and you're trying to chase your tail.
Sam, I'm just going to say that it's the last thing that they wanted for the first game. See, look at the crowd. They've got a wonderful crowd in here. They're demoralised already. They're starting to get a bit anxious and moaning, and they're just keeping the ball unless they can get into what you want in a Championship game is get stuck into Southampton when they come, and I know they're going to pass it, but they've no chance now. And if they keep getting the ball to get the next goal, this could be a right few goals. It's looking like it.
James Ward-Prowse, right angle of the penalty area, attacking the goal away to our right towards Edozie, comes back out as far as Manning. His shot takes a deflection. Teller's going in on the goalkeeper. It's going to bobble up into his arm, and Cameron Dawson, last year's #1 goalkeeper who started 27 of the final 31 games, smothers the ball into his chest, his bright green goalkeeping outfit, and just takes a breath, Scott.
And that's what they have to do. Looking up now, and you can see that Southampton, they're ready to pounce. So Cameron Dawson's not actually playing the ball out. Now he's going to kick the ball up the pitch, and then it's 50-50. But actually, maybe just for a moment, you just need to get the ball territorially in the other half and then see if you can play from there. But Southampton winning the ball back now, and then this is where Sheffield Wednesday now, with Bazunu having the ball, they should try and press high and just see what Southampton, how much they can handle it. Because, as Mick was saying, the crowd are quiet. They want to get behind the team, but they're just quiet.
I don't think Sheffield Wednesday have got the legs to press like that, have they, with Gregory and Bannon?
You know, when he kicked it there, Dawson, if you're going to kick it, set yourself up to kick it. Don't get them up and they're not. Get your centre forwards up there, get your wing backs up there, or your full backs up. Try and press it and try and get it drop in the middle of the field so you can win it back.
Teller, he's got it right side. A good switch ball from Stevens out from left side to right. They're inside the Sheffield Wednesday half again. They're moving up towards the edge of the area. Right-footed ball which is flashed through the face of the penalty box, and in the edge of the six, the ball is hooked away by Michael Ihekwe, and it goes out and away for the second corner of the game for James Ward-Prowse to swing one in. And just when you think, this team, they're great in possession, they can carve you open, all right, keep them at bay, give them a set piece. Oh, that's James Ward-Prowse taking that. They've got weapons everywhere. Here is James Ward-Prowse, right-footed, arcing it away from goal towards the penalty spot, flicked away by Gregory, and then it'll be picked up just short of the halfway line by Carl Walker-Peters. Manning sends it forward. Edozie takes it on. He's being harassed by Vauxx from behind. Vauxx gives away the free kick. He's not happy about it. Referee says play on. He did have a big bellow at the referee there, Bobby Madley, Will Vauxx, but he didn't take any action.
Interesting. How long do those rules last?
16 minutes 42 seconds. This is Talk Sport. Thank you very much for choosing us this Friday night. We appreciate it. What a morning it was this morning. You're probably still reeling from the Gareth Southgate, Jim White, Stuart Pearce interview. If you didn't hear it, download our app. You can go back and you can listen again. Here's Bakerson playing the ball forward down towards the right-hand side. It's picked up by Patterson, who's come forward from right back, sends a cross in. It's cleared away by Stevens and goes back to the other side. But Sheffield Wednesday do have the ball in Southampton territory, and that makes a change. Delgado back to the right side. Bannon's got it tight to the touchline. Further on to Patterson, a chance to cross. He does just that. Stevens stoops and heads the ball away to the left fullback position. Manning feels he was tripped, but Bannon's got it back again, and he's got it all the way back to his goalkeeper. And Sheffield Wednesday have at least got possession, even though they're trailing by a goal to nil.
Do you know what, Sam? You're right. At least they were playing in Southampton's half, but that's 2 times now Callum Patterson had the chance to put a decent ball in and didn't beat the first man either time. When you're under the cosh, under pressure, not able to really create an attack, when you get into a good position, you have to put quality ball in.
Just right at the centre circle, Southampton have won it in tight areas. They pop the ball around between Smallbone, Stevens and then Manning, and then Smallbone with his bald head and shirt untucked to the waist strides forward towards the edge of the centre circle, pokes it out towards the wide right. It goes infield to Carl Walker-Peters as they emerge up the pitch again. Southampton dominant so far in the game. Manning drifting into midfield. Alcaraz pops it off to Stevens. Back to Alcaraz once again. Sheffield Wednesday looking dizzied by the prospect of Southampton keeping the ball and moving it at tempo as they edge towards the edge of the Sheffield Wednesday penalty area. Out comes Ihekwe to try and challenge. Bakinson comes across and puts a little foot in on Carl Walker-Peters. It goes back towards the other side, and now Stevens has it. Travels forward, plays it left. Manning up to Alcaraz, straight out wide to Edozie. Edozie back in field, it goes to Manning, and then again Stevens has it once more. Sheffield Wednesday, who had a habit of making fast starts last season under their previous manager, have conceded a goal early on tonight, and it has just changed the mood inside Hillsborough. Here's Bednarek, the Pole, another one who's been touted for a move during the course of the transfer window, and all of that sort of rebuilding and discussions about where people would end up going so far hasn't really materialised. Lavia is still around. Livramento has gone to Newcastle United. We'll see what happens with the others. Here's Edozie skipping into the penalty area down the left-hand side. Overran it as he went past Callum Patterson on that occasion, and it goes out of play and away. For a goal kick away to our right-hand side, it's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Southampton 1 on Talk Sport, live in the Championship where every match matters. And here's Scott Minto.
Yeah, I mean, Southampton in full control. And you know, you sort of talk about Pep Guardiola's right backs or even Trent sort of going into midfield. That's what Carl Walker-Peters is doing. But also Ryan Manning, the left back, is doing it as well. So sometimes they only need the two centre-halves to pick up Lee Gregory. And just, it's so difficult to pick up a mark.
Gregory has won the knockdown, and it's come back to Windus on the edge of the area. Gregory's turn, shot, takes a cannon off Stevens, comes back to Bannon. He tries to help it wide. Delgado's going to try and reach for it, but the ball just went narrowly out of play. It was just a little bit heavy from Barry Bannon as it ran down towards the byline. And Southampton have got it back again. But that's what they've got to do. They've got to use the physical presence they've got of Gregory to try and get the ball up the pitch and hold on to it.
Yeah, when they get it there, they're looking to get the chance off very quickly. I mean, I think it's the way, not the way forward they want to play. Barry Bannon is going balmy out there. He's trying to get them up the pitch so he can get a bit more of a press on. But on the other side of that is they don't want to concede again. If they can keep it at this, they might nick a goal. But the way for them, looking at it, it is up to Gregory, get up behind it and then try and keep hold of it and get a chance out of it. At the minute, they're giving it back far too quickly. But Barry Bannon is he's doing his head in. I'm serious. He's just trying to get his teammates up behind him.
Well, they were the third top scorers in League One last season, and they did concede the third fewest goals. They do have a goal threat, but do they have a goal threat in the Championship, or is it as powerful in the Championship as it was in League One last season? They've got the ball now on the edge of their own penalty area. 18-yard line is where Cameron Dawson was operating. He's played it to Iorfa and then back out wide to Patterson. Back in field it goes, and this is Michael Ihekwe. He was back to start the last few matches of last season, including the playoff final after a long time out with a knee injury. And they play it out towards the left, and then as it comes back in field, it's given away. Smallbone has won it once again for Southampton, and they've got possession just in front of the centre circle. Left to Manning, back to Smallbone, back to Manning again, and they're just keeping the ball in triangles on the halfway line. Not much of a press going on even in that zone of the pitch. And Sheffield Wednesday rather deep and having to face yet another succession of Southampton passes.
Yeah, Barry Bannon's wanting to try and push on, and it is a balance between, you know, not wanting to keep yourself open, but actually they need to somehow put Southampton under pressure at the moment. And you're right what you're saying about Lee Gregory and Bannon, perhaps not quite the most athletic anymore, but, you know, the first few yards are in the head, so you don't actually have to be chasing tails the whole time. But at the moment, they're sitting back, they're letting Southampton control it. Both full-backs are going into midfield, and they just can't pick them up.
Teller trying to spin the ball into the path of Armstrong. It comes off the defender Ihekwe and it's cleared upfield, but it comes back to Alcaraz, who takes on a couple of players, right-footed, sends the ball towards the far corner, and Dawson goes down and it just whizzes past the post, and there is a little bit of fear amongst that Sheffield Wednesday defence. No one really wanted to engage with Carlos Alcaraz, and he spun away from two defenders, got his shot off and almost scored.
Yeah, the problem is that when they win it back, Southampton are so far up the pitch. Sheffield Wednesday haven't got the confidence, don't look to have the ability to be able to play through them like Southampton are doing. And this is only going to cause more and more problems if Southampton keep winning.
They lost the ball again before they got to the halfway line.
But actually, Sam, they were trying to not just knock it long. So even when they're trying to do the right thing, they're looking up. The options aren't there, so they're running with it. They're getting pressed. They're winning the ball back, Southampton, and the crowd are not happy, and you understand why. But at the moment, Southampton are absolutely dominating this game. And yeah, a second goal for them, you'd almost think it's game over.
Everyone except the goalkeeper, Southampton players, are in the Sheffield Wednesday half. And the keeper's halfway up, he's almost there as well.
Josh Windass has just gone sliding in on Carl Walker-Peters, and Bobby Madley has given a free kick to Southampton, and it is a good 13 yards back from the edge of the penalty area on the right-hand side, and Bobby Madley just saying, yeah, come infield a little bit, you can move that. Ryan Manning standing over it, but I'm sure that James Ward-Prowse is going to be the one to take it. Southampton have had 81% possession in the game so far. We've played 25 minutes.
I tell you what as well, you're right, they pass, and then they get a free kick, and you see one of the best set-piece specialists in the country about to take it.
Yeah, there's no respite, is there? Coming up to 25 minutes, Southampton lead by a goal to nil. That goal coming from Nathan Teller after 8 minutes, but James Ward-Prowse and Manning standing over it. It's Ward-Prowse who spins it towards the edge of the 6. It's headed away by Patterson, drops for Alcaraz. He takes it down, brings it into the box, goes past one defender, lays it through the 6-yard box again. It's stabbed away by Gregory helping out his defence, and it's out for another corner to Southampton over on the far side. It's their third of the game. It's been a blistering start to the evening on TalkSport. Over on TalkSport 2, there is live Super League rugby, and there's loads of live sport over the course of the weekend. Currently, Castlefield Tigers 0, Huddersfield Giants 10, Warrington 0, Catalan Dragons 6, Wigan Warriors are 6-0 up on Hull KR. Southampton 1-0 up here. Ball sent in by Ward-Prowse, punched away by Dawson, back out to Edozie, whose volley from the edge of the penalty area on the left side was never really going to trouble Dawson. Alcaraz getting a little bit spicy with the Hekwe, and the referee wants a word with him. That just came about from the corner kick. Who's in a confrontation with Will Vaulks as well, who's had a bit to say to the referee once or twice already in this game.
There should be more than them having a confrontation with the Southampton players. They're getting passed off the park at the minute. They need somebody to have a confrontation. They need something to change the direction of this game, because it's all Southampton at the moment.
Famuel out towards the near side. Windass is playing wide tonight on this left-hand side. He scored that 120th minute diving header to seal a place in the championship for Sheffield Wednesday. And they've just played out from the back here successfully, and they're moving up towards the halfway line just to add a little bit of confidence to proceedings here and change the mood slightly, because there's a little bit of concern amongst the Sheffield Wednesday supporters after what's been rather chastening 27 minutes. Iorfa has it inside his own half. He plays it back to Dawson, and then he in turn plays it wide towards the left-hand side, where Ihekwe tries to get to the halfway line. Armstrong thought he'd robbed him of it and was hoping to turn it over. The referee blew the whistle, and it's going to be a free kick. Is that going to be a yellow card for kicking the ball away? Yes, it is. It's our first one of the night, won't be our last.
It was unnecessary, wasn't it? No need for that at all. Just a frustration. You shouldn't be frustrated when you're 1-0 up and in complete control.
It's dissent, isn't it? They just disagree with the referee's decision and kick the ball away.
Ihekwe forward up towards Gregory, who didn't have eyes for the ball. If it was Windass who didn't have eyes for the ball at all. Bednarak gets the header away, and then a foul is given against Gregory, who is clattered into Teller on this near side. He now might be another one who's going to get a yellow card here. He's gone into the notebook.
Yeah, but that's the Southampton players have done and got him booked. He wasn't going to book him, the referee, I don't think. And it was a foul. He didn't kick the ball away. It wasn't dissent.
Mick's not having it.
Good job Mick's not down that dugout.
Oh, I'd be really upset by that, player and manager. I don't think it was a foul. The players, the other players have got him booked.
28 gone. 1-0 to Southampton, relegated from the Premier League after a dismal season. campaign. It remains to be seen if they have the players that can be more reliable in the Championship. You'd expect Teller to do just that. He certainly has started in the right vein of form. Alcaraz, who did have decent records. Adams and Armstrong have got decent records at Championship level, so there are players that Southampton possess that in this division may well end up having the firepower to mount a challenge to return straight back to the Premier League. Russell Martin's only ever finished as high as 10th in the Championship in his 5 years as a manager, and that was last season with Swansea. Ward-Prowse turns after getting beyond the midfield and then having to check back towards the right channel. He looks up, he's got Teller out wide on the right and Walker-Peters too. Walker-Peters infield to Teller now. They're midway inside Sheffield Wednesday territory, and in pursuit of their second goal of the night. They lead by that Nathan Teller strike to nil. Bednarek travels up towards the midpoint of the centre circle, lays it off to Stevens, and Southampton then with Manning swirl it down the left, and Patterson came out of his slot. Edozie comes infield behind Patterson, tries to get the shot away, can't do so. Patterson recovers well, but he just got drawn out there, Patterson. The ball was lifted over his head and Edozie got away from him, and now he's wriggling away from his grasp, and Patterson tracks him to the floor. He wasn't getting the help he wanted from Delgado, and now he's going to get a yellow card. It's a free kick right on the edge of the box.
Yeah, they're trying to get out, aren't they, Sheffield Wednesday? They know what they'll have to do. They're just not able to do it. They're trying to pass out, but the Southampton press is so good. They're not letting them come out at all.
The second goal, Mick, looks inevitable here, doesn't it?
Without a doubt. It's looked like that for a long time, ever since they scored the first. But Sheffield Wednesday are holding out. So I would say, though, Southampton have had no gilt-edged chances since they scored. They've kept the ball, they've looked nice and neat, they've got a few crossing free kicks in, but they've had no real gilt-edged chance. Not that I can remember anyway, Scott.
No, the possession and the control and the tempo of the game, they've been in complete control. But in terms of open, clear-cut chances, it's not really happened. But, this is a good opportunity for someone like James Ward-Prowse.
That was an issue, wasn't it, when Russell Martin was in charge of Swansea? They had all the possession in the world. They had some of the best stats in the world, but the goals that they scored were few and far between when it came to playing a team that employed a low block or were difficult to break down.
Sometimes, though, Sam, when you play that possession game, it opens up later in the last 10-15 minutes because you've tired the opposition out. So you have to be patient in that way. But yes, they still didn't create the chances that perhaps now Southampton at a high level in the Championship will be able to do.
James Ward-Prowse standing over the free kick, which is wide on the left-hand side. There's a four-man wall. He hits it right-footed straight into that wall. It spirals into the air. It bounces on the edge of the D, and then it's hacked away by Famiwo up towards the centre circle, taken down by Carl Walker-Peters and ran out towards the right-hand side. He's beaten Gregory and he's got space now. Armstrong wants it played infield. He gets it, holds it, but he's tackled by Volks. It comes back out to Walker-Peters, who's wrestling with Famiwo. He wins that battle and then plays a crossfield ball, but it was aimless, and Manning dabs it down into the feet of Alcaraz, and the Argentine has possession. Southampton have possession, and again, they got half out there, Sheffield Wednesday, but they're a little bit like a prisoner that's trying to escape. They just cannot get beyond the perimeter of the prison, can they? They keep getting dragged back in.
Sam, they're all back in their half. I'm saying there's only Gavin Bazzuno that is in the Southampton half. Everybody's up there. The centre half just dropped back in there, but they are so penned in that they'd have to be brilliant to play their way out. So I think even if it gets back to the keeper, the chances that they've had is when they've played it up the field, got it on the centre forward to Gregory and got up behind it. At the moment, I think the crowd have stuck with them so far. They haven't lost them yet, but
Bednarek, and a free kick is going to go against him because he was a little bit too physical with Lee Gregory, and it's going to be a free kick midway inside Sheffield Wednesday territory. Bannon wants to move it quickly. He sends it long down towards the right-hand side, but he rushed it, and there was no need to rush that.
But what's the point? He's up there on his own. If the keeper should come and take it, go and put it in their box and try and make them defend. I know it's the long ball, but try and give them something to have to defend against. Not that they've given the ball back. They'll now about be another 5 minutes without touching it.
That's pure frustration from Barry Bannon, who's been obviously is their most technical player.
Oh, Armstrong, brilliant. Tries to take the ball from behind and then send it through the middle of the park. Didn't quite work out for him on that occasion. It's spilt, and Sheffield Wednesday look to fashion an attack. Delgado on the turn, swings it down the right. Here comes Patterson, whose cross is deep towards the far post. He's looking for Gregory, but it's headed away by Teller. Bounces on the edge of the box, comes back to towards Bakinson, whose effort towards the far corner isn't too far away. He's 30 yards from goal and tried to loop the ball towards the far corner beyond Bazoon, who is scrambling in the end. He thought that may well be a problem for them. They kick it long, Southampton, right down the middle of the pitch. Teller is chasing, and Dawson gets there first. And Sheffield Wednesday have it back again. But it's been all action, despite the fact that Southampton have dominated possession. That's another good chance for Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday have actually looked the most dangerous when they've exploited the space of in behind Ryan Manning. You know, both Walker-Peters and Manning are looking to get forward, but, you know, Walker-Peters gets back in position quickly, or certainly has cover, whereas down the other side, Ryan Manning doesn't seem to have that cover, so Callum Patterson is able to really bomb on. He must have had 4 or 5 opportunities to go wide and put a good cross in.
Here comes Gregory trying to get down the right channel. He gets there ahead of Manning this time, who scurries back and smacks it clear. It goes out for a throw over on the far side, and all of a sudden there's a bit more enthusiasm amongst the Sheffield Wednesday support as the ball's thrown in by Patterson. Back Wednesday in the Championship on the opening night of the season on the radio station that brings you more matches than anybody else. Remember, tomorrow Adrian will be at Watford as they start against Queen's Park Rangers in the Championship. Terrific coverage throughout the day, the return of the addictive Game Day Live, all the goals as they go in. Then on Sunday it's manic. You'll need the app for 4 live games from the Championship and the Community Shield. And next week, of course, the Premier League is back. Friday night, Burnley against Manchester City. Saturday lunchtime, Arsenal against Nottingham Forest. And then we are go. We're off and underway once again.
Is Mick flying in from Portugal again for one of those games, like he has tonight?
I can manage that, I'm sure.
Live right now over on TalkSport 2, Warrington Wolves against the Catalan Dragons. And that game, with the Catalans leading by 10 points to nothing. Castleford Tigers 10 down against the Huddersfield Giants, and Wigan Warriors lead Hull KR by 10 points to nothing. That's in Super League, and the Super League is ongoing with Mark Wilson and Paul Cook right now over on TalkSport 2. Here, live on TalkSport, we've got 10 minutes before half-time and Southampton are in control. Teller down the right-hand side into the penalty area he goes. James Ward-Prowse with a cross towards Armstrong, flicked away by Heckway, comes back out to Manning, edge of the area, miscontrolled it, and now there's a chance to break, and the ball's been picked up and they're trying to run it clear. It never really quite worked for Delgado, and that's going to be another yellow card, and this time it's going to Ryan Manning.
He didn't need to make that challenge either. There must have been about 5 Southampton players and only 2 Sheffield Wednesday ones. Just have a little bit of composure there. And now he's got a yellow card. And I can tell you, when you're a defender on a yellow card, you've just got to be careful of clearance, lack of concentration for the rest of the game.
Especially as the best attacks have come down that side as well, down his side. If he has to make a rash tackle.
Free kick. To Sheffield Wednesday, they're in the centre circle just in front of the halfway line, trailing by a goal to nil, and having spent most of the time of this first half inside their own half. The ball is sent towards the far stick. Ihekwe rose but apparently committed a foul, and Bobby Madley has penalised him, and the free kick is given to Southampton on the edge of their own penalty area. When you get those free kicks in those areas, Scott, you've got to make the most of them, haven't you?
Yeah, you have, especially when you're under pressure, you're under the cosh, you're not able to create too many chances, hardly even able to get in the opposition half. So when you get in those positions, whether it be set pieces or open play, and we talked about Callum Patterson having a lot of space down the right hand side at times, you have to make sure it goes in with quality.
TalkSport live on a Friday night, and it's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Southampton 1 in the EFL Sky Bet Championship. We've got more games than anybody else across the whole of the station, but nobody else has got access to the EFL like we've got access to the EFL, home of the EFL, TalkSport. Here on the left-hand side, Manning on that booking now, plays it infield to James Ward-Prowse. This is